This video is a game analysis project for the game history class. It was created to see how well a choosing game matches our gamer profile after completing the gamer motivation profile test on Quanting Foundry's website. You can check your own profile on the website and see how well it fits you. It starts with simple personal questions and asks about the games you like, then moves on to your playstyle and strategies in games. For me, the results were accurate. My test result was Architect. This means I'm a solo gamer who enjoys planning, strategic decision making, and progression. It says that more like slower pace and relaxing games or creating and building something is my type. I can say the results feels accurate overall. I enjoy solo games and prefer more story-based games. Face-based games aren't really for me as I find them hard to follow. I love creating things, especially designing characters or building something that aligns with my imagination. The website also gives game recommendations based on your profile. For me, the suggestions were good. They included games I've played or ones I'm planning to play. Most of the recommendations were RPG focused, which perfectly matched my preferences. The areas measured are action, immersion, social, creativity, achievement, and mastery. As you can see, I'm not much of an action person, and socializing isn't really my thing either. The number of multiplayer or FPS games I've played in my life could be 2 or 3. That's why in this video I'll focus more on the other areas. The game I've chosen is I Have No Mod and I Must Scream, based on Harlan Ellison's short horror sci-fi story, released in 1995, and it takes place in a dystopian world where an artificial intelligence called AM tortures 5 characters forever. Each character has their own trauma and backstory. We start by choosing a character and solve puzzles while discovering the deep story and its many symbols. One of the top traits in my gamer motivation profile is the importance I placed on story in games, and that's the main reason why this game is my favorite. It has an incredibly deep story which aligns perfectly with my profile. And another trait of mine is strategy. I'm not a fan of puzzle games, and I'm not particularly strategic in terms of math thingies or Sid Meier's civilization-like tactics, but however, when it comes to character backgrounds and human interactions, I can use my psychology background to turn into a strategic thinker. Now let's focus on the game, and I'll keep talking about my gamer profile as we go.
Which of you 5 would like to play my little game?
The game has a lot going on and requires a lot of trial and error. For example, in Test Story, if you don't choose the correct monitor from the 5 options, the game ends and we have to start over.
Sorry, Ted. Try again.
And another thing that I see in the game that Ted is the only character who interacts with other characters in the game. When we play as others like Nimdog or Ellen, we don't see any interaction with others. But this is not the case for Ted. I don't know the answer yet and I'm really sad about it. The reason I'm so curious about why this happens is probably because I'm someone who goes crazy for storylines in games. So, in my creativity profile, it mentions that I'm curious and always asking what happens if I do this. And that's definitely true. In the game, I'm always thinking like, what if I do this? What if I go through this door? What if I use this item with that? Because of this, I replayed the game and tested what else I can do and what different endings I can reach. Because of this, I often think about features that aren't usually added to the games, but that I wish were there. Maybe that's a curse. Actually, I've talked about many things related to my profile so far, but I'd like to focus a bit more on the story, especially Ellen. Her story had the biggest impact on me, and because of that, I feel like it's my duty to show some scenes. In Ellen's story, she appears as a strong engineer with a trauma related to the color yellow. She can quickly fix random electrical wires, but she can't go near the yellow. The puzzles in the game are generally about this. For example, to get close to the yellow, we need to put on a blindfold, and sometimes even that isn't enough.
Always yellow. Why does yellow make me sweat then? Hate it now. Nothing green, just this damn yellow. No, I can't stay here. gotta get out. That thing, like a bad meal come to life. And the yellow. Why is everything so damned yellow? And why does it terrify me so? Paralyze me so? Oh God, it hurts. It hurts. And it was closed in. I couldn't breathe, and the pain. Get me out of here!
Ellen was the character I enjoyed playing the most, and I dedicated myself to seeing everything and doing everything I could for her. In one part, where we find a cup to drink water and realize that drinking water twice is enough, I made her drink water at least 10 times, thinking maybe I would get an achievement or encounter a different line, but no, nothing happened. And I'm not someone who aims to do everything or finish everything in a game, but when it's something I'm passionate about, yes, I definitely want to experience it to the fullest. And this was one of the traits that showed up in my gamer motivation profile test. However, it came at a pretty balanced level, which I think is great. In some games, I have almost no desire to seek power or complete everything, and in other games, it happens naturally and unintentionally. While playing this story-driven game with a lot of interactions and uncovering the characters' backgrounds, I would like to talk about why I scored lower in social and action-related areas. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not someone who enjoys fast-paced action or multiplayer interactions. I prefer slower, more thoughtful gameplay, where I can focus on the story and character development. In a game like I Have No Mod and I Must Scream, the focus is very much on personal, isolated experiences, rather than social interaction or action-packed moments. That fits with my profile, as I tend to look for single-player experiences that offer deep narratives, rather than games that demand quick reflexes or social engagement. For example, Nimdok. He is a former Nazi scientist who was involved in war crimes during World War II. And his puzzles are not just about solving physical challenges, they deeply tie into his past and his psychological state. There is dilemmas we encounter, there is morality, ethics, and much more. And these are making the gameplay experience more about immersion and emotional engagement than just some basic mechanics. This deep connection between puzzle solving and story progression is something that resonates with my own gamer motivation profile. I value how the game uses puzzle to tell the character's backstory and to immerse me into their emotional journey. Instead of simply completing a task, I find myself emotionally invested in the outcome of the puzzle, because it's not just about the gameplay, it's about understanding who Nimdok is and the trauma he's carrying. For example, in this scene where we learn about Ellen's story, shows the true meaning of trauma through its voice acting and the way it makes the player feel it.
The elevator stopped at the 7th floor for a maintenance man. To your horror, he inserted his key into the control panel and locked the elevator.
I'm back, Ellen.
Oh, sweet Jesus! It's him!
Also remember the blood, the screams? How many hours was it? You couldn't even bring yourself to testify at my trial with the 20 other women.
Please, not again!
Yes, again. And again, and again, and again.
If we choose the right option here, we escape the elevator. If we don't, the game ends for Ellen. The correct choice is not to escape or give up, but to fight. Throughout the game, despite her trauma, Ellen always chooses to fight. She tried to find a solution. She tied up her eyes for not to scared of yellow and more. And here, she of course will choose to fight. We can see how the character narrative, how the character story is strategically important in this game. I hope this analysis gives you a better understanding of how my own profile connects to the game that I like the most. Thanks for watching.